birth, initiation, marriage, death, creates rituals that give meaning to the important transitions that we have in life. And the importance of certain activities is expressed in the symbolic meaning they share. The more important the function, the more important the meaning for people. The way the cultural expressions are shaped have to do with their function in society. So if there is no function, there is no expression and there is no meaning. Culture is a set of values and rules people share. Culture is not only about art or only about religion. Culture is everything we do together the way we have learned it.
It touches the essence of life, but it's not the essence of life for all of us. And it touches emotion, but it's not the same as emotion. So for me, aesthetics is really about the essence of art. It's about something that you cannot hold in your hands, but it's about the value of art, the personal value of art for me. It's a value that is hard to define. It's a value that's not absolute. It's a value that some people discover being confronted with art. It's a value that you can feel, experience, like you can feel and experience what pain is, or grief. It's a value that for some artists is so important that in their own work they're constantly searching for it.
Before you have inspiration, there must be something that makes you have the inspiration. And we cannot imagine that you find a solution if there was not something like a problem first. So the sources of inspiration can maybe seen as some kind of problems. And today the question is, what is your source, or what are your sources of inspiration?
Well, no, that's the thing. If I would just give that one beat.
Oh, you need to control the other input is to control when to make the.
Yeah, and if I only give the one beat a delay, it only goes like this. That's not the way it works. You go like that.
Lawrence wants to provide the tones on the caval. We just like to use only the wood of the instrument, not the sounds of that instrument. Because that was something new. We know the sound of the caval and the tradition melodies, something like that. So the idea of Lawrence to provide the sounds with my ring on the caval, it was a good idea for me.
A little stone in water oscillation.
Yes.
And then the story begins in a way.
In anthropology, we talk about a concept of acculturation, which means that every individual is born in a certain culture and has to learn to adopt all the values of the culture during his life. And you might say that tradition leads to a specific culture at a certain time, at a certain place for certain people. And tradition gives only a starting point for every individual to continue, and I almost said to develop, but there is no culture that does not develop. So there cannot be a tradition if there is no development. So we shouldn't forget that tradition is something that changes all the time. And a tradition is not about the things, only about the things that we can see in a museum. So tradition is certainly not a way of sampling old things and then as a way to keep the tradition. Tradition must be alive somehow, and it can only be alive if there is a reason for existence.